Jeff and Jeremy in the Morning podcast brought to you commercial free by another podcast. You've subscribed to ours, now subscribe to theirs. It's the SLO County Real Estate Podcast with Hal Swayze. When you're done with this, go listen to something that will actually enrich your life. California DRE 01111911.
So growing up, did you ever have a teacher get in trouble at school? Did you ever have a teacher?
Football coach.
What was he doing? Was he doing anything?
He wasn't the head football coach. He was like an assistant.
Yeah.
He was hooking up with the equipment manager who was a year younger than I.
Yeah, we had a wrestling coach do the same thing. What is it with coaches?
Yeah, I was a junior when it happened, so she was a sophomore. I wasn't affiliated with the football team at that point in my
How old was the coach,
career.
by the way? Was he like a 20-something, like just out of school, or was he like an older guy?
He actually was married to one of my ex-girlfriend's sisters. He was, I'd say he was in his mid-20s.
Oh.
Maybe early 20s.
Okay. Not that hooking up with a sophomore is ever okay if you're an adult.
No.
At least he wasn't like 40 or something like us, like a 50-year-old guy or something.
I mean, you talk about changing two lives. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
And the lives of many others.
Your kids ever come home and say, oh, so-and-so, Mr. or Mrs. did this in class today, like trying to get him in trouble?
Yeah, but never to get them in trouble because they know not to go that route because I'll always side with the teacher.
Yeah, most parents do. What if one of your kids came home and said, listen, Mr. So-and-so.
Some teachers I don't.
Mr. So-and-so peed at his desk today. What would you say?
I say tough it out.
He peed at his desk today. You would tell your kids to tough it out?
I would say, how did he, what do you mean? I would not believe it at first. And I would say, what do you mean? Like, how do you know that this happened? And I'd want details.
He peed in a can. He got his can off the desk and he was peeing in it. Everybody heard it. We were all like looking over there, like, what is that noise? I don't know how a kid talks.
I would say,
he got up and left the room, and this happened in Phoenix.
I'd call the administration. I'd say, hey, do you have any other kids that
I would call
reporting?
Like, do you know any parents of the kids that are in your, you know what I mean? Like, if I could get a hold of other parents,
too many.
Okay. Other parents that also had their kids in my son's class.
Yes, the answer is yes.
Or daughter's class and say, hey, did they say anything about this? So-and-so, he's saying this happened.
Luckily, I'm not the one that is sourced with talking to the other parents. That is my wife's job. So that's good.
Oh, well then, yeah, your wife would.
And she likes the job. She likes the job.
She would probably just be besides herself if she heard that one of the male teachers was peeing in a can in front of the students.
Five other parents in each of the kids' classes that she would have on speed dial and have answers within 4 minutes.
He says,
talking to 5 different ones.
He says, the teacher says, Mr. P. Mr. P says he didn't have anybody to cover his classroom. He didn't know what to do, and he couldn't hold it any longer. Is it that important that somebody sits in a classroom that you can't go down the hall for like 2 or 3 minutes to relieve yourself and come back? I mean, bathrooms can't be that far away, and it doesn't take that long as a man to pee. Even if your prostate is getting a little tired, you still usually do it in 2 or 3 minutes and wash your hands and come back.
If you think that that's a good, I think a big part of the teaching profession should be, I don't think it is, but it should be common sense. And common sense should immediately tell you.
Just weigh out the options here.
You have to go. Yeah.
Let's say I get caught leaving my classroom to go to the bathroom and didn't have somebody to cover it. All right, the punishment's going to be this or whatever. And then let's say I get caught peeing in a jar, glass, can, whatever.
Yeah, the risk versus the reward is.
What's going to happen then?
You have to be able to weigh that as a teacher, and if you do it wrong, then you should probably be terminated. Is this teacher getting terminated?
I'm not sure if he's on suspension right now, and going to go up against the school board. I don't know who makes that decision, but here's some of the parents. They're not happy, and I'm sure they want him gone.
It's a bit shocking, I guess, especially for my brother that comes to the school.
Upset and mad because just to find out that it was one of our schools. That's pretty sad and upsetting.
I'm proud of them for doing the right choice and not keeping it to themselves, because at the end of the day, they're still children. It's kind of crazy to think about it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, the kids are going to go home and squeal. I mean, kids don't keep secrets that well.
But you should know that as a teacher.
Yeah, yes, exactly. He's dealing with a bunch of elementary school kids. So, okay. As a parent, would you rather have your teacher pee in front of the class? Yeah, he was behind the desk, but pee in a can at his desk, or get up and go to the bathroom and come back and
get up and go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I think the kids will be okay.
I remember it was a big scandal when Mr. Wilson pulled his pen away from his mouth, and he had a big string of saliva, like slobber, going from it, and I was like, "Ew, gross!" And he was like, he'd suck it back in his mouth. And then he tried to get me in trouble for noticing it. I was like, what did I do? I just noticed it, man. And it bit Bart Simpson in me. And he was like, still, you don't comment on it. And I was like,
so
well, don't
my
stick
question
your chin
is,
in your mouth, bro.
It takes a special kind of person to work with kids. And if this guy has got no other issues on his record and only good notes, nothing bad, and this one thing happens, he made one bad decision, do we give him a second chance?
No.
Really, he's done as a teacher.
Yeah.
This is what he loves to do. He's been doing it for 15 years, never had one problem.
Judgment.
He had one bad choice, never gets another chance.
If you let him get away with this, then what's the next step?
Or maybe he learns his lesson and goes, gosh, I got
bucket behind the blackboard, I mean, if, he's got to pass some diamonds.
I don't have kids in school, so I would give him another chance.
You don't. I mean, like the school boards.
If he had a clean record,
the schools need to weed out the bad individuals.
Yeah.
93.3 KCOZ rocks.
Back to the teacher that pees in the class. We got unorthodox message from this is a different way to get a hold of us, but we appreciate it. The message the station notification. You can reach us by going to kzoz.com and emailing us. And I guess his name's Dominic. Based on what his email says, he says there was a substitute teacher who peed in their can at Rigetti a year or two ago. Boy, talk about not wanting to stay in the field. Substitute, from what I understand, substitute teacher is like you're trying to cut your teeth and get a permanent job working for the school district as a substitute, right? You're like, okay, I got to do.
Or some people just want to cut back.
Okay.
And so they go substituting.
Like a
I believe that's just
retirement situation.
The way you climb the ladder and
substitute teacher who peed in their can at Rigetti a year or two ago. What happened to that substitute? Is that substitute still subbing? I'm very interested to know. Please let us know, and you can message the station, and we'll probably get it in a couple days. I'm surprised we got it this time around. Also, Rhonda says, Trump hater Rhonda, she says, absolutely this guy should be fired and let go because there's a line that was crossed on this one. And yeah, that is.
He just makes bad decisions. And I don't know if he should be in charge of a bunch of young kids. Mm-hmm. When you make that kind of major,
this is what I don't know. Have you ever tried?
I feel like I want to give him another chance, but he pulled his penis out in class and peed into a can.
Well, it was underneath the desk, though. So.
Well, yes, the desk was, but it was still out. I mean, I'm just saying,
yes,
this was a bad decision.
What if somebody had a question on number 3?
Whatever happened to when
God
you and I
forbid,
in
number
school?
1?
This ever happened to you? It only happened to me a couple times because then they realized I couldn't be trusted. But they'd say, "Hey, Jeremy, come up here, Mr. Squire. We were in Portable 7. Hey, Jeremy, come up here." And I go to him. He goes, "I got to run to the office. I need you to watch over everything. You're in charge. All right?"
And they put you in charge?
That was dumb. Yep. He goes, "You can sit right here at my desk." I know, right? And so he came back, and we were writing all over the boards, and we had a party going on. We had girls taking off their no. So he comes back, and you know, I don't know, 15 minutes later, and you know, I'm sitting at his desk, and somebody looked at me, and my buddy Andy McDonald, you know Andy and I were in that class together, and he goes, "What are you doing up there?" I go, "Squire put me in charge." He looked at me and he goes, "Shut up, he did not." Much like you thought I was a loser, I go, "Hey, I'm a winner, buddy, and I'm in charge, so you better get back to work." Like I said, it only happened just with Mr. Squire. For some reason, he liked me. The rest did not.
Ben writes in.
Did not find that kind of trust.
Ben wants to be known as the voice of reason on here. He says, maybe he's got prostate cancer or any type of problem. Sounds like a EEO complaint if the school doesn't have a way for the teachers to relieve themselves. What do you want? Catheters?
What does Ben want to be known as?
You want just a catheter for every teacher? Here you go.
What does Ben want to be known as?
He wants to be known as the voice of reason.
Okay, well,
he sounds like a lawyer.
That.
He sounds like a lawyer
You
to me.
disclose that, Ben, and I'm pretty sure that would have been brought up in the story that the guy had prostate cancer.
But even if,
or he had some sort of disability that he couldn't hold it. I mean, that was never brought up.
And if that's the case, then that might not be the job for you, right? And also, have you ever tried this task? Peeing into a bottle or a can? For me, it's not easy because it is uncomfortable. It's kind of like peeing in water. Like, have you ever, like people say, oh, you know, you pee in the pool. It would be like, I've tried to pee in water, especially when I go surfing, because sometimes you got to pee when you go surfing, right? And you're out there and you don't want to take your
body's telling you not to do it. You're like, it's like not wanting to do it.
Yes, your body's like, no, your body fights that. Like, my body I've tried peeing in a can before, and it does not equate my body. Like my brain tells my system, something's not right about this. Maybe you shouldn't do it. Like, if that happens naturally, it should happen naturally for everybody. I don't care what the condition is.
I've never tried to pee in a regular water bottle. It would never work. I would number one,
it
would be hard because the opening is very small. Number two, there's just not enough volume there. So
you need like
my go-to is
Gatorade bottle or something like that.
This is a Powerade Zero. It's grape, one of my favorite
flavors.
Gross.
Is it empty and because you have it at your desk?
I rinced it out after
you literally have a bathroom like right around the corner. I see you waddle over to it all the time.
And I just have hold on a second. Let's see if you can figure out what I'm doing.
No.
Just keep talking, please. Just keep
Stop
talking.
it.
Keep talking, Jeff. Keep talking. You truck drivers know. Sometimes you got to pee in a bottle. All right, you can always wait.
Rich, who's fishing for veterans, writes in on the 805 Beer text lines. He says he does use a Gatorade bottle when he's on his kayak. You have a lake. Like, why can't you just stand up on the kayak and go in the lake?
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
Start drinking water, man.
Jeff and Jeremy in the Morning podcast brought to you commercial free by another podcast. You've subscribed to ours, now subscribe to theirs. It's the SLO County Real Estate Podcast with Hal Swayze. When you're done with this, go listen to something that will actually enrich your life. California DRE 01111 911.